everyone, welcome to
Season 5, Episode 3 of Mommy and Me Tutorials. Today we are continuing with perimeter, area, and volume.
Mr. Jefferson wants to place solar-powered lights around his property, leaving a 7-meter space for a gate.
Mr. Jefferson's property is what shape?
A rectangle. The dimensions of the property are shown in the diagram below. So the length of the property is equal to 103 meters, while the width or the breadth is equal to 68 meters.
Do you know what the question is asking us to find?
Well, I think that the question is asking us to find the perimeter because the words around his property help us to analyze this.
Okay.
So we need to calculate the perimeter because calculating perimeter means that we find the total distance around.
Okay. Can we calculate the perimeter?
Yes.
What shape is Mr. Jefferson's property?
A rectangle.
Hence,
the perimeter of a rectangle is equal to length plus breadth multiplied by 2. Therefore, the perimeter of the property is equal to the length, which is 103 meters, plus the breadth, which is 68 meters, multiplied by 2. And when we add the numbers in the brackets, we get 171 meters multiplied by 2, which gives us 342 meters.
All right, good job. But Mr. Jefferson left a space of 7 meters for a gate. Are we placing any lights within this space?
No.
No, we are not. Hence, do you think we should calculate the perimeter of his property without the gate?
Yes, we should. So, step 2 is to calculate the perimeter bordered by lights. So, we know that the distance of the gate is equal to 7 meters.
Yes.
Therefore, the perimeter bordered by lights would be equal to the perimeter of the property, which is 342 meters, minus the distance of the gate, which is 7 meters, and we will get 335 meters.
All right, great job. Let's continue reading the question, shall we?
If the cost per light is $45 and the lights are placed 5 meters apart, calculate the total cost of bordering the property with lights.
So what's the next step?
Step 3 is to calculate the number of lights needed.
Before we calculate this, can we do some analysis?
Yes.
Okay. So if I have 2 solar-powered lights, how many spaces do we have?
1 space, which is equal to 5 meters.
All right. So 1 space equals to 2 lights. And if I have 3 lights, how many spaces do we have? 1, 2.
2 spaces, and each space is equal to 5 meters.
Okay. So 2 spaces equal to 3 lights. And if I have 4 lights, 1, 2, 3, 4 lights, how many spaces do we have?
1, 2, 3 spaces, and each space is 5 meters.
So 3 spaces equal to 4 lights. And let's do one more. If I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights, so how many spaces do we have?
1, 2, 3, 4 spaces, and each space is 5 meters.
So 4 spaces equal to 5 lights. Let's look at Mr. Jefferson's property. It's an open property because he left a 7-meter space for a gate. And if Mr. Jefferson places lights at the beginning of the gate, at the opening of the gate, and at every corner of his property, and at the other side of the gate, how many solar-powered lights do we have here? Well,
we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lights.
All right. And if Mr. Jefferson places 6 lights on his property, how many spaces do we have between the lights?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces.
Between the lights?
Yes.
Is the gate, do we count the space of the gate?
No.
No, we don't. Why?
Because that 7-meter space was left for the gate, and he will not be placing any solar-powered lights in that 7 meters.
So, in this open space, if I have 5 spaces, I have 6 lights. Or if we have
6 lights, then we have 1 less space, which is 5 spaces.
Or if I have 5 spaces, we have 1 more light, which is
6 lights.
Does Mr. Jefferson actually have 6 lights on his property though?
No, we are just using this number of lights and spaces
Mhm.
as an example.
Yes, just for demonstration purposes. We will soon calculate the number of spaces and the number of lights that Mr. Jefferson placed on his property. However, if I have a closed space, like this rectangle,
Mhm.
and we place lights on every corner of this property, 1, 2,
3,
4. So we have 4 solar powered lights. How many spaces do we have in this closed property?
we will have 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces.
So in this closed property, we have 4 spaces and 4 lights, or 4 lights.
Equal to 4 spaces.
What can we see here?
We can see that in a closed shape,
Mhm.
then the number of spaces is equal to the same number of lights.
All right. And in an open space,
The number of lights
Mhm.
is 1 more than the number of spaces, or the number of spaces is 1 less than the number of lights.
Okay, so for example, in an open property, if I have 2 spaces, how many lights do we have?
1 more, which is 3 lights.
If I have 4 spaces, how many lights do we have?
1 more, which is 5 lights.
If I have 20 spaces, how many lights would we have?
1 more, which is 21 lights.
If I have 100 spaces, a big number, how many lights do we have?
1 more, which is 101 lights.
So this is a little rule we can learn off.
Yes.
Yes, but in a closed property like this, or a closed space, number of spaces equal to number of lights. So if I have 4 spaces, we have
4 lights.
If I have 20 spaces, how many lights would we have?
20 lights.
If I have 100 spaces, how many lights do we have?
100 lights.
Okay, but for Mr. Jefferson's property, it's open. Yes?
Yes.
All right, let's continue with our question.
Calculate the number of lights needed. So we know that the distance between 2 lights is equal to 5 meters.
Correct.
Therefore, the number of spaces that Mr. Jefferson has in his property
Mhm.
is equal to the total perimeter bordered by lights,
Correct.
which is 335 meters,
Mhm.
divided by the distance between 2 lights, which is 5 meters, and we will get 67 spaces.
Oh, so can we calculate number of lights?
Yes.
Yes.
So since the property is an open space,
Mhm.
the number of lights needed will be equal to 1 more than the
Right.
number of spaces, which is 67 plus 1, and we will get 68 lights.
Oh, great job. So therefore, 67 spaces equal to 68 lights. Can we now calculate the cost of these 68 lights?
Yes. We know that the cost of 1 light is equal to $45.
Right.
Therefore, the cost of 68 lights would be
Mhm.
equal to 68 multiplied
68,
by
right at 68 there.
$45,
Mhm.
and we will get $3,060.
Ooh, did we answer the question?
Yes,
What did the question ask us?
to calculate the total cost of bordering the property with lights.
And that answer is,
$3,060.
we hope this video helped. Bye, everyone.